On a bright Saturday afternoon, Han was enjoying a leisurely stroll through the park when she heard soft sobs coming from a nearby bench. Curious, she approached and saw a little girl, no more than 7 or 8 years old, sitting with her head buried in her arms. Han knelt down beside her and gently asked, "What's wrong, sweetie?" The girl looked up, her eyes glistening with tears. "My cat, Whiskers, is lost. I can't find him anywhere." Hana's heart sank at the sight of the girl's distress. She knew how much pets meant to children, and she couldn't bear to see her so upset. "Don't worry," Han said with a warm smile. "Let's find Whiskers together." The girl nodded, wiping her tears. Han took her hand, and they set off on their little adventure, asking people around the park if they had seen a cat. They checked the bushes, looked under benches, and even called out Whiskers' name. Han encouraged the girl to describe her beloved pet. "What does he look like?" The girl perked up a bit. "He has fluffy gray fur and green eyes. He loves to chase butterflies." As they wandered through the park, Han noticed a couple of children laughing nearby. "Maybe they've seen him," she suggested. They approached the group, and to Hana's delight, one of the kids pointed towards a nearby flower garden. "I saw a cat over there." With renewed hope, Han and the girl rushed toward the flowers. As they drew closer, they spotted a fluffy gray tail peeking out from behind a bush. "Whiskers," the girl exclaimed, her face lighting up with joy. The cat, sensing his owner's voice, emerged and trotted over to her. The little girl scooped him up in her arms, tears of happiness streaming down her face. "Thank you. Thank you so much," she cried, her heart full of gratitude. Han smiled, feeling warmth wash over her. "I'm so glad we found him. Just remember, always keep an eye on your furry friend." Over the next few weeks, Han thought about the girl and her cat. She often returned to the park, hoping to see them again. One sunny day, she spotted them sitting together on the same bench where they had first met. The little girl waved excitedly, and Han hurried over. "Hi. I'm Han," she introduced herself, and the girl beamed. "I'm Lin. This is Whiskers." The two chatted for a while, sharing stories about their favorite things. Han learned that Lin wanted to be a veterinarian one day, inspired by her love for animals. As the months passed, Han and Lin developed a sweet friendship. They often met at the park, where Lin would share her adventures with Whiskers. Han always brought treats for them, and their bond grew stronger with each encounter. Years later, Han found herself facing a challenging situation at work. A project she had poured her heart into was suddenly in jeopardy due to a legal issue. Feeling overwhelmed and unsure of how to proceed, she remembered Lin's determination and her dream of becoming a lawyer. Taking a deep breath, Han reached out to Lin, who had indeed become a lawyer. They met at a cafe, and Han explained her predicament. Lin listened intently, her expression serious. "Don't worry, Han. I'll help you with this case," she said confidently. Han was taken aback. "But you have your own clients and responsibilities. I can't ask you to do this for me." Lin shook her head. "You helped me when I was just a little girl, and now it's my turn to help you. We're friends, and that's what friends do." With Lin's expertise, Han felt a weight lift off her shoulders. They worked together tirelessly, and Lin guided her through every step of the legal process. Han was amazed at Lin's knowledge and dedication, and it reminded her of the little girl who had once cried in the park. After weeks of hard work, they finally resolved the legal issue, and Hana's project was saved. As they celebrated with coffee and pastries, Han couldn't contain her gratitude. "Thank you, Lin. You were my saving grace," she said, her heart swelling with appreciation. Lin smiled, her eyes sparkling. "I'm just glad I could help. Remember, our friendship started with kindness, and it will always be that way." As they finished their treats, Han realized how beautifully life had come full circle. The little girl she had helped years ago had grown into a capable, compassionate woman, ready to lend a hand to someone in need. Their friendship was a testament to the power of kindness and how it could shape lives in unexpected ways. From that day forward, Han and Lin made it a point to support each other, whether in their professional endeavors or personal lives. They often reminisced about their first encounter and the bond that had formed through that simple act of kindness. As seasons changed and years passed, their friendship deepened, and they continued to inspire one another. Han knew that no matter where life took them, they would always have each other's backs, just as they had in the park that fateful day when they found Whiskers together. As their friendship flourished, Han and Lin began to explore new ways to give back to their community together. Inspired by their shared experiences and the kindness that had brought them together, they decided to launch a local initiative focused on helping animals and supporting pet owners in need. They organized a Paws and Claws event at the park, where pet owners could bring their animals for free checkups, vaccinations, and training workshops. Han used her organizational skills to coordinate logistics, while Lin reached out to her network of veterinary professionals and local pet trainers to participate. On the day of the event, the park was bustling with excitement. Families gathered with their pets, and volunteers helped set up booths filled with resources, information, and goodies for both pets and their owners. The atmosphere was lively, filled with laughter and the sounds of playful barking. As they walked around, Han noticed a small booth dedicated to educating children about animal care. She smiled as she watched Lin interact with a group of kids, sharing stories about responsible pet ownership. Lin's passion shone through, and she inspired the children to care for their furry friends. At one point, a little boy approached Lin, holding a scruffy dog on a leash. "My dog, Max, is really sick. Can you help him?" he asked, his voice trembling. Lin knelt down, her expression serious yet compassionate. "Of course, let's take a look at him together," she said, guiding the boy to the veterinary station. Han felt a swell of pride watching Lin in action. It was moments like these that reminded her of their own beginnings, how a small act of kindness had led to a profound impact on both their lives. They were now in a position to create positive change for others, just as they had experienced. The event was a huge success, attracting not only pet owners but also local media attention. Afterward, Han and Lin sat together on a bench, exhausted yet exhilarated. "I can't believe how many people we helped today," Han said, grinning from ear to ear. Lin nodded, her eyes sparkling with joy. "And to think this all started with Whiskers. It feels amazing to give back and make a difference." From that day on, they made Paws and Claws an annual event, each year expanding its reach and services. They began collaborating with shelters to provide homes for abandoned animals, organizing adoption events alongside their workshops. The impact grew, and their initiative became a beloved fixture in the community. As they continued their work, Han and Lin also supported each other in their personal lives. Whenever one faced challenges, whether it was Han dealing with a difficult project at work or Lin preparing for a big case, they would lean on each other for support. Their friendship became a safe haven where they could share their fears and celebrate their triumphs. Years passed, and Han often found herself reflecting on how a single moment of compassion had changed the trajectory of her life. The little girl she had helped was now a successful lawyer, and together they had fostered a movement of kindness that reached far beyond their initial intentions. One evening, as they walked through the park, now adorned with vibrant flowers signaling the arrival of spring, Lin turned to Han with a thoughtful expression. "You know, I've been thinking about our journey. It all started with helping each other. Maybe we could expand our efforts even more," she suggested. Hana's heart raced with excitement. "What do you have in mind?" Lin explained her vision of creating a community center that not only focused on animal care but also offered legal advice, counseling, and workshops on various life skills for families. "We could bring people together, provide resources, and create a safe space for everyone," she said, her enthusiasm contagious. Hana's eyes lit up. "That's a brilliant idea. We can start planning right away." They spent the rest of the evening brainstorming ideas, drafting proposals, and mapping out their vision for the future. Fueled by their shared passion and determination, Han and Lin began reaching out to local businesses, government officials, and community leaders to gather support for their project. They held meetings, organized fundraisers, and rallied volunteers, igniting a movement that brought the community together in unprecedented ways. Months of hard work paid off when they finally secured a location for their community center. The space was modest but filled with potential. They painted the walls bright colors, filled it with donated furniture, and set up areas for workshops and activities. On the grand opening day, families and individuals from all walks of life gathered to celebrate. Han and Lin stood at the entrance, greeting everyone with warm smiles and open hearts. As they cut the ribbon, they felt a wave of fulfillment wash over them. The center quickly became a hub of activity, offering various programs ranging from legal clinics to pet adoption events. Han and Lin watched in awe as their dream transformed into reality, impacting countless lives along the way. As they continued to work together, Han realized that their friendship had evolved into a powerful partnership, driven by a shared purpose and unwavering commitment to helping others. They celebrated each success, no matter how small, and cherished the memories they created along the way. Looking back on their journey, from a simple encounter in the park to creating a thriving community center, they knew they had made a difference in each other's lives and the lives of countless others. Their bond, forged through acts of kindness, had blossomed into something beautiful and enduring, a testament to the incredible power of compassion. And so, with hearts full of hope and determination, Han and Lin continued their mission, ready to embrace whatever challenges and opportunities lay ahead, confident that together they could make a lasting impact in their community and beyond. As the months rolled on, Han and Lin's community center became a vibrant hub of activity, attracting individuals not only seeking help but also those eager to give back. Local businesses began partnering with them, offering sponsorships and supplies for workshops. Volunteers flocked to the center, inspired by Han and Lin's vision of fostering kindness and support within the community. One day, as they were preparing for an upcoming fundraising event, Han noticed Lin deep in thought. "What's on your mind?" she asked, sensing something was bothering her friend. Lin sighed and looked up. "I've been thinking about how we can reach even more people. We've helped so many already, but there are still those who don't know about us or who are too hesitant to come through our doors. What can we do to make a bigger impact?" Han pondered this for a moment. What if we organized outreach programs? We could visit schools, shelters, and community events to spread the word about our services. We could even set up pop-up clinics or workshops in different neighborhoods. Lin's eyes brightened. "That's a fantastic idea. It could help us connect with those who need us most and build trust within the community." They began to plan their outreach strategy, targeting local schools first. They designed engaging presentations to educate students about responsible pet ownership and the importance of kindness in their everyday lives. They aimed to instill values of compassion in the younger generation, hoping to inspire a new wave of helpers in the future. The first outreach event at a nearby elementary school was a resounding success. Han and Lin brought along several friendly therapy animals to engage the children. The students were captivated, laughing and playing with the pets as they learned about care and responsibility. After the session, a shy girl approached Lin, clutching her stuffed animal. "Can I help with the animal someday?" she asked softly. Lin knelt down, her heart swelling with pride. "Of course. We would love to have you join us. Every little bit helps." As they continued their outreach, the community center saw a steady increase in visitors. People from all walks of life began to drop by, some to attend workshops, others simply to enjoy the welcoming atmosphere. Stories of their good deeds began to spread, and soon the center became known as a beacon of hope. However, as their impact grew, so did the challenges. With more people relying on their services, Han and Lin found themselves stretched thin. The initial excitement of the project began to turn into overwhelming responsibilities. Late nights and busy weekends became the norm, and the pressure started to weigh on them. One evening, while sorting through donations, Han noticed Lin looking particularly stressed. "Hey, we need to talk," she said gently. "It seems like we're both feeling the strain. Are you okay?" Lin sighed, brushing a hand through her hair. "I love what we're doing, but sometimes I feel like we're in over our heads. I want to help everyone, but I worry we can't keep up." Han nodded, understanding the concern. "I feel the same way. But we can't do it all alone. Maybe it's time to delegate some tasks. We have so many volunteers eager to help, we should empower them to take on more responsibility." After a thoughtful discussion, they decided to hold a meeting with their volunteers. They gathered everyone in the main room of the center and shared their vision for the future, emphasizing the importance of teamwork and collaboration. "We can achieve so much more together," Han encouraged, "but we need your help. Let's create smaller teams focused on different aspects of our programs." The volunteers responded enthusiastically, eager to contribute in ways that suited their skills and interests. Some took charge of organizing events, while others focused on community outreach, social media, and fundraising. Han and Lin felt a weight lift off their shoulders as they delegated tasks, empowering their team to take ownership of the mission. With renewed energy and support, the community center flourished. The outreach programs reached even more neighborhoods, bringing in families who had never considered visiting before. The center's events became increasingly diverse, offering workshops on everything from financial literacy to mental health support. One day, as they were preparing for a major community festival, Han noticed a familiar face among the crowd. It was the little girl, now grown up, who had once asked Lin to help with the animals. She approached with a bright smile. "I'm back. I want to volunteer and help out," she exclaimed. Han felt a rush of joy. "That's wonderful. We'd love to have you. Every helping hand makes a difference." As the festival unfolded, families gathered to enjoy games, food, and live performances. Han and Lin stood together, taking in the happiness around them. The festival was a celebration not just of their hard work but of the entire community coming together in support of one another. As the sun began to set, casting a warm glow over the park, Lin turned to Han with gratitude in her eyes. "Look at what we've created. It's incredible." Han smiled, feeling a sense of fulfillment wash over her. "It truly is. But we couldn't have done it without the support of everyone here. This is just the beginning." As the festival continued, the bonds within the community strengthened, and the ripple effect of kindness spread even further. Han and Lin knew that their journey was far from over, and they were excited about the future. With each passing day, they were reminded that the essence of their work lay in the connections they fostered. The little girl's smile, the volunteers' dedication, and the community's unwavering support were the driving forces behind their mission. As they looked ahead, Han and Lin were filled with hope and determination. They knew that no matter the challenges they faced, their friendship, fueled by kindness and compassion, would guide them through. Together, they would continue to build a brighter future for their community, one act of kindness at a time. As Han and Lin continued their mission, the community center became a symbol of hope and resilience. The festival was just one of many initiatives that had blossomed from their dedication and the community's support. However, as their reputation grew, so did their ambitions. They dreamed of expanding their services further, perhaps even establishing a network of community centers across the city. One evening, while brainstorming at their favorite cafe, Lin proposed an idea that had been simmering in her mind. What if we offered training programs for aspiring social workers and community organizers? We could empower others to make a difference in their own neighborhoods, just like we did. Hana's eyes lit up. That's brilliant. We could create a mentorship program that pairs experienced professionals with those looking to enter the field. It would be a way to spread our impact exponentially. They spent the next few weeks refining their plan, drafting proposals, and reaching out to potential partners. They envisioned workshops that covered everything from conflict resolution to grant writing, providing practical skills for those eager to help their communities. When they launched the program, the response was overwhelming. Individuals from all backgrounds signed up, excited to learn and make a difference. The center buzzed with energy as participants engaged in discussions, shared their stories, and collaborated on projects. Han and Lin reveled in the vibrant atmosphere, feeling fulfilled by the knowledge that they were sowing the seeds for future changemakers. However, not everything went smoothly. One evening, as they were preparing for a training session, Han received a call from Lin. "I just got an email from the city. They're cutting our funding because they're reallocating resources to other projects," Lin said, her voice shaky. Han felt her heart sink. "What does this mean for us?" "It means we'll have to make some tough choices. We might need to cut back on some programs or find alternative funding sources," Lin replied, frustration evident in her tone. They met later that evening to discuss their options. Sitting in their office, surrounded by plans for the future, the weight of uncertainty loomed over them. "We can't let this setback define us," Han said firmly. "We need to brainstorm ways to raise funds. We've built a strong community, let's leverage that." Together, they came up with various fundraising strategies, crowdfunding campaigns, partnership opportunities with local businesses, and even organizing a gala event. They worked tirelessly, pouring their hearts into these initiatives, reaching out to former beneficiaries of their programs, and rallying volunteers. As the fundraising gala approached, the energy in the center was palpable. Han and Lin spent countless hours organizing every detail, from securing a venue to coordinating entertainment. On the night of the event, the center was transformed into a beautifully decorated space, filled with laughter, music, and a sense of community. People from all walks of life gathered, united by their shared purpose. As Han stood on stage to welcome everyone, she looked out at the crowd, feeling a swell of gratitude. "Thank you all for being here tonight. Together, we can continue to support one another and ensure that our community thrives." Lin took a moment to share her story, recounting her journey from a lost girl looking for her lost cat to a dedicated lawyer committed to helping others. Her words resonated deeply, and the audience listened intently, captivated by her authenticity. The night was a resounding success, raising more funds than they had anticipated. As they celebrated together, Han and Lin felt a renewed sense of purpose. They knew that with the community rallying behind them, they could face any challenge. In the following weeks, they were able to secure additional funding, allowing them to expand their programs rather than cut back. They launched new workshops, focusing on mental health awareness and support for families in crisis. They also introduced a pet therapy program, pairing therapy animals with individuals dealing with stress or trauma. One day, while they were preparing for a pet therapy session, a familiar face walked through the door. It was the same little girl who had once approached Lin about helping with animals. Now a teenager, she was eager to volunteer. "I want to help out with the therapy program," she exclaimed, her enthusiasm infectious. Han and Lin exchanged smiles, seeing the full circle of their efforts. "We would love your help. Your experience with animals will make a huge difference," Lin replied warmly. As they worked together, they saw the impact of their programs firsthand. Families began to open up, sharing their struggles and finding solace in the support of the community. The center became a safe haven, a place where people could seek help and offer it in return. One day, as they were preparing for a major community festival, Han noticed a familiar face among the crowd. It was the little girl, now grown up, who had once asked Lin to help with the animals. She approached with a bright smile. "I'm back. I want to volunteer and help out," she exclaimed. Han felt a rush of joy. "That's wonderful. We'd love to have you. Every helping hand makes a difference." As the festival unfolded, families gathered to enjoy games, food, and live performances. Han and Lin stood together, taking in the happiness around them. The festival was a celebration not just of their hard work but of the entire community coming together in support of one another. As the sun began to set, casting a warm glow over the park, Lin turned to Han with gratitude in her eyes. "Look at what we've created. It's incredible." Han smiled, feeling a sense of fulfillment wash over her. "It truly is. But we couldn't have done it without the support of everyone here. This is just the beginning." As the festival continued, the bonds within the community strengthened, and the ripple effect of kindness spread even further. Han and Lin knew that their journey was far from over, and they were excited about the future. With each passing day, they were reminded that the essence of their work lay in the connections they fostered. The little girl's smile, the volunteers' dedication, and the community's unwavering support were the driving forces behind their mission. As they looked ahead, Han and Lin were filled with hope and determination. They knew that no matter the challenges they faced, their friendship, fueled by kindness and compassion, would guide them through. Together, they would continue to build a brighter future for their community, one act of kindness at a time. As Han and Lin continued their mission, the community center became a symbol of hope and resilience. The festival was just one of many initiatives that had blossomed from their dedication and the community's support. However, as their reputation grew, so did their ambitions. They dreamed of expanding their services further, perhaps even establishing a network of community centers across the city. One evening, while brainstorming at their favorite cafe, Lin proposed an idea that had been simmering in her mind. What if we offered training programs for aspiring social workers and community organizers? We could empower others to make a difference in their own neighborhoods, just like we did. Hana's eyes lit up. That's brilliant. We could create a mentorship program that pairs experienced professionals with those looking to enter the field. It would be a way to spread our impact exponentially. They spent the next few weeks refining their plan, drafting proposals, and reaching out to potential partners. They envisioned workshops that covered everything from conflict resolution to grant writing, providing practical skills for those eager to help their communities. When they launched the program, the response was overwhelming. Individuals from all backgrounds signed up, excited to learn and make a difference. The center buzzed with energy as participants engaged in discussions, shared their stories, and collaborated on projects. Han and Lin reveled in the vibrant atmosphere, feeling fulfilled by the knowledge that they were sowing the seeds for future changemakers. However, not everything went smoothly. One evening, as they were preparing for a training session, Han received a call from Lin. "I just got an email from the city. They're cutting our funding because they're reallocating resources to other projects," Lin said, her voice shaky. Han felt her heart sink. "What does this mean for us?" "It means we'll have to make some tough choices. We might need to cut back on some programs or find alternative funding sources," Lin replied, frustration evident in her tone. They met later that evening to discuss their options. Sitting in their office, surrounded by plans for the future, the weight of uncertainty loomed over them. "We can't let this setback define us," Han said firmly. "We need to brainstorm ways to raise funds. We've built a strong community, let's leverage that." Together, they came up with various fundraising strategies, crowdfunding campaigns, partnership opportunities with local businesses, and even organizing a gala event. They worked tirelessly, pouring their hearts into these initiatives, reaching out to former beneficiaries of their programs, and rallying volunteers. As the fundraising gala approached, the energy in the center was palpable. Han and Lin spent countless hours organizing every detail, from securing a venue to coordinating entertainment. On the night of the event, the center was transformed into a beautifully decorated space, filled with laughter, music, and a sense of community. People from all walks of life gathered, united by their shared purpose. As Han stood on stage to welcome everyone, she looked out at the crowd, feeling a swell of gratitude. "Thank you all for being here tonight. Together, we can continue to support one another and ensure that our community thrives." Lin took a moment to share her story, recounting her journey from a lost girl looking for her lost cat to a dedicated lawyer committed to helping others. Her words resonated deeply, and the audience listened intently, captivated by her authenticity. The night was a resounding success, raising more funds than they had anticipated. As they celebrated together, Han and Lin felt a renewed sense of purpose. They knew that with the community rallying behind them, they could face any challenge. In the following weeks, they were able to secure additional funding, allowing them to expand their programs rather than cut back. They launched new workshops, focusing on mental health awareness and support for families in crisis. They also introduced a pet therapy program, pairing therapy animals with individuals dealing with stress or trauma. One day, while they were preparing for a pet therapy session, a familiar face walked through the door. It was the same little girl who had once approached Lin about helping with animals. Now a teenager, she was eager to volunteer. I want to help out with the therapy program," she exclaimed, her enthusiasm infectious. Han and Lin exchanged smiles, seeing the full circle of their efforts. "We would love your help. Your experience with animals will make a huge difference," Lin replied warmly. As they worked together, they saw the impact of their programs firsthand. Families began to open up, sharing their struggles and finding solace in the support of the community. The center became a safe haven, a place where people could seek help and offer it in return. Months later, Han and Lin received an invitation to speak at a regional conference focused on community service. They felt honored to share their journey and the lessons they had learned along the way. Standing before an audience of eager listeners, Han spoke about the power of compassion and the importance of community. "Every small act of kindness can create ripples of change. We've seen it in our own lives and in the lives of those we serve," she said, her voice steady and passionate. Lin followed, sharing her experiences of overcoming obstacles and the incredible transformations she had witnessed within the center. "We are all capable of making a difference. It starts with a single act, just as Hana's kindness changed my life." As they concluded their talk, they were met with a standing ovation. The energy in the room was electric, and Han and Lin realized that they had inspired others to pursue their own initiatives for positive change. Returning home, they were filled with a renewed sense of purpose. They knew that their journey was ongoing, and there were still many challenges ahead. But with their friendship and the support of their community, they were confident they could face whatever came their way. As they sat together in the park one evening, reflecting on their journey, Han turned to Lin. "We've come so far, but I can't help but think about all the lives we've touched. It's incredible." Lin smiled, a sense of warmth enveloping them both. "And it's just the beginning. Imagine how many more we can reach in the years to come." With hearts full of hope and determination, Han and Lin knew that their friendship, rooted in kindness and compassion, would continue to drive them forward. Together, they would keep building a brighter future for their community, one act of kindness at a time, creating a legacy of love and support for generations to come. As Han and Lin continued their mission, they became increasingly aware of the broader issues affecting their community. While their center had made significant strides in supporting individuals, they realized that systemic problems also needed attention. Issues such as homelessness, mental health crises, and food insecurity loomed large, and they felt a growing responsibility to advocate for change beyond the walls of their center. One evening, after a particularly busy day, Han suggested they host a community forum to address these issues. "We need to hear from the people we serve," she said. "What are their biggest challenges? What solutions do they envision?" Lin nodded in agreement. "That's a great idea. We can invite community leaders, social workers, and those directly affected by these issues to come together and share their experiences." They set to work organizing the forum, reaching out to various community members, local organizations, and even city officials. The event was designed to be a safe space where people could voice their concerns and brainstorm potential solutions. On the day of the forum, the atmosphere was electric with anticipation. Han and Lin prepared the venue, setting up chairs in a circle to encourage open dialogue. As participants began to arrive, they could feel the energy of collaboration in the air. Once the forum started, Han welcomed everyone warmly. "Thank you all for being here today. We believe that every voice matters, and we want to create a platform for meaningful discussions about the challenges we face as a community." As the conversation unfolded, participants shared powerful stories. A single mother spoke about her struggles to find affordable housing, while a veteran discussed the difficulties he faced accessing mental health services. Each story was met with empathy and understanding, and ideas began to flow. One participant suggested forming a coalition to advocate for more affordable housing options in the area. Another proposed starting a community garden to address food insecurity and foster connections among neighbors. The discussions were rich and varied, with everyone contributing their insights and experiences. By the end of the forum, a sense of camaraderie had formed. Han and Lin watched in awe as participants exchanged contact information, eager to collaborate on initiatives that could bring about real change. Afterward, they convened with a small group of passionate individuals who had taken the lead in the discussions. "We need to keep this momentum going," Lynn said. "Let's form a community action committee to tackle these issues head-on." The group agreed enthusiastically, and thus the Community Action Coalition was born. They set regular meetings to strategize, prioritize issues, and take actionable steps toward creating positive change. Han and Lin served as facilitators, helping guide the coalition in its mission. As weeks turned into months, the coalition grew in strength and influence. They organized petitions to address local housing policies and collaborated with local farmers to establish the community garden. Their efforts caught the attention of local media, bringing more awareness to the challenges faced by the community. However, not all the reactions were positive. Some local businesses and politicians resisted the changes, fearing the impact on their profits or operations. Han and Lin faced criticism, but they remained steadfast. They knew the importance of advocating for those whose voices were often overlooked. In one particularly tense meeting, a local business owner challenged the coalition's plans for the garden, arguing it would take up valuable commercial space. "We need to think about the economy," he exclaimed. Han took a deep breath and spoke up. "We understand the importance of economic growth, but we also need to consider the well-being of our community. A garden can provide fresh food, foster relationships, and ultimately lead to a healthier, happier population. It's not just about immediate profit, it's about sustainable growth." The room fell silent, and Han felt the weight of everyone's eyes on her. After a moment, Lin added, "Imagine a community where businesses thrive alongside a healthy environment. We can create a balanced approach that benefits everyone." Slowly, the tone of the conversation shifted. Other coalition members chimed in, sharing their visions of a collaborative community where businesses and residents could support one another. As the discussions evolved, the business owner began to reconsider his stance. In the months that followed, the coalition successfully launched several initiatives, including the community garden, a series of workshops on financial literacy, and a support group for those experiencing housing instability. They even organized a health fair, partnering with local clinics to provide free screenings and resources. As their work progressed, Han and Lin received an unexpected invitation from the mayor's office. They were asked to present their findings and initiatives at a city council meeting. This was a chance to advocate for broader systemic changes and to highlight the importance of community involvement. On the day of the presentation, Han and Lin stood before the council, filled with a mix of excitement and nervousness. They shared their journey, the challenges faced by the community, and the innovative solutions developed through the coalition. They spoke passionately about the need for affordable housing, mental health resources, and sustainable community practices. After their presentation, several council members voiced their support, expressing the importance of investing in community-driven initiatives. The meeting culminated in a commitment from the city to explore funding options for some of the coalition's proposals. Returning home that evening, Han and Lin were elated. "Can you believe it?" Han exclaimed. "We made an impact today." Lin smiled widely. "This is just the beginning. We need to keep pushing for change and encouraging others to get involved." As their community continued to grow and flourish, Han and Lin found themselves reflecting on their journey. They had started with small acts of kindness and had transformed their community into a place of collaboration and hope. One sunny afternoon, as they sat in the community garden watching families enjoy the fruits of their labor, Han turned to Lin. "I'm so grateful for everything we've accomplished together. This garden symbolizes so much more than just fresh produce, it represents our community coming together." Lin nodded, her eyes shining with pride. "And it all started with a simple act of kindness. Imagine how many more lives we can touch in the future." With renewed energy, they vowed to continue their work, empowering individuals and fostering connections throughout the community. Han and Lin understood that true change often begins with small actions, and they were committed to nurturing that spirit of kindness for years to come. Together, they would keep building a brighter future, one act of compassion at a time. As the months rolled on, the community garden flourished, becoming a vibrant gathering place for families and neighbors. Children played among the rows of vegetables, while adults shared recipes and gardening tips. Han and Lin often held workshops there, teaching about sustainable practices and the importance of healthy eating. One afternoon, while they were tending to the plants, a familiar face approached them. It was the single mother who had shared her story at the community forum. She had been a regular volunteer at the garden and had transformed her life through the resources offered by the coalition. "Hey, Han, Lin," she called out, her face beaming. "I just wanted to let you know that I applied for a grant to start a cooking class for low-income families. I want to teach people how to prepare healthy meals using what they can grow in the garden." Hana's eyes widened in excitement. "That's amazing. We'd love to help you promote it. When do you plan to start?" "Next month, if I can get everything organized," she replied, her enthusiasm infectious. "I can't thank you enough for everything you've done. This garden has changed my life." As they chatted, Han and Lin felt a deep sense of fulfillment. They had set out to make a difference, and now they were witnessing the ripple effects of their efforts. More community members were stepping up, taking initiatives that benefited everyone. Inspired by the momentum, Han and Lin decided to host a community celebration to showcase all the projects and initiatives that had emerged from the coalition. They envisioned a day filled with activities, cooking demonstrations, gardening workshops, and performances by local artists. It would be a chance for everyone to come together, share their successes, and inspire one another. As they planned the event, they reached out to local businesses for sponsorships and support. To their delight, many were eager to contribute, seeing the positive impact the coalition was making. With each passing day, excitement built around the celebration. On the day of the event, the sun shone brightly as families filled the garden, laughter and music echoing through the air. Colorful banners decorated the space, and booths showcased local artisans, delicious food, and information about community resources. Han and Lin took a moment to soak it all in, witnessing the incredible sense of unity that had blossomed. As they walked through the crowd, they overheard conversations filled with hope and determination. Later in the day, as they prepared to address the crowd, Han felt a mix of nerves and anticipation. "Let's inspire them," Lin encouraged. When they stepped onto the makeshift stage, Han took a deep breath. "Thank you all for being here today. This celebration is a testament to what we can achieve together. It's about more than just this garden, it's about the connections we've forged and the lives we've touched." Lin added, "Each of you plays a vital role in our community. Your stories inspire others, and together we can create lasting change." As they spoke, the crowd erupted in applause, and Han felt a swell of gratitude. She could see the determination in the eyes of those around her, a community ready to continue making a difference. After their speech, they invited everyone to participate in activities throughout the day. Children painted pots for the garden, while adults engaged in discussions about the future of their community initiatives. As the sun began to set, Han and Lin reflected on the day's success. They were surrounded by a tapestry of stories, each person contributing to the collective narrative of resilience and hope. However, even amidst the joy, they knew there was still work to be done. As they packed up, a thought nagged at Hana's mind. What if we could create a scholarship fund for young people in our community who want to pursue careers in social work or community organizing? She suggested. Lin's eyes sparkled with excitement. "That's a fantastic idea. We could use some of the funds we raised today to start it." Over the following months, Han and Lin worked tirelessly to establish the scholarship fund. They set criteria for applicants, emphasizing the importance of community service and leadership. They also organized workshops to help interested students strengthen their applications and prepare for future careers. As word spread about the scholarship, interest grew among local high school students. Applications flooded in, showcasing young individuals passionate about making a difference. Han and Lin spent hours reviewing applications, inspired by the dreams and aspirations of the next generation. When the time came to award the scholarships, they invited the recipients to the community center. As they stood before the enthusiastic group, Han felt a sense of pride swell within her. "You are the future of our community," she told them. We believe in your potential to create positive change." As they handed out the scholarships, the recipients expressed their gratitude. One young woman spoke up, her voice trembling with emotion. "Thank you for believing in us. We promise to make a difference." In that moment, Han and Lin knew their efforts were paying off. They had ignited a spark in these young individuals, empowering them to pursue their dreams and make meaningful contributions to society. As the years went by, the community center became a hub of activity, constantly evolving to meet the needs of the community. The garden flourished, and the coalition continued to advocate for systemic change, addressing pressing issues and fostering collaboration among residents. Han and Lin remained at the forefront, guiding new initiatives and mentoring young leaders. They often reflected on their journey, grateful for the connections they had formed and the lives they had touched. One evening, while sitting in the garden, Han turned to Lin. "Can you believe how far we've come? From that first act of kindness to this incredible community we've built." Lin smiled warmly. "It's a testament to what's possible when we come together. And I know there's so much more ahead of us." As the sun set behind the garden, casting a golden glow, Han and Lin felt an overwhelming sense of hope for the future. They understood that the journey of service and compassion was ongoing, but they were ready to embrace it together, hand in hand, creating a legacy of kindness for generations to come. As the seasons changed, so did the community's needs. Han and Lin began noticing new challenges emerging: mental health issues, job insecurity, and the need for educational resources for families. They realized that the foundation they had built was just the beginning, and there was still much work to be done. One chilly autumn morning, as they sat in their office discussing upcoming initiatives, Han suggested, "What if we establish a mental health support group? Many people in our community struggle in silence, and we need to create a safe space for them to share their experiences." Lin nodded thoughtfully. "That's a crucial need. We could invite local mental health professionals to facilitate the sessions and offer guidance. It would help destigmatize mental health issues and provide much-needed support." Excited by the idea, they quickly began reaching out to mental health organizations and professionals. After several meetings, they were able to secure a partnership with a local clinic that specialized in community outreach. Together, they launched the Mental Health Support Group, providing a safe space for individuals to come together, share their stories, and learn coping strategies. The first meeting was held in the community center, and the turnout exceeded their expectations. Han and Lin watched as participants shared their struggles and found solace in one another's company. It was a powerful reminder of the importance of community support. As the support group continued to meet weekly, word spread, and attendance grew. Participants began forming bonds, creating a network of support that extended beyond the sessions. Han and Lin witnessed the transformation in the participants, their confidence blossomed, and many expressed a newfound sense of hope. One day, a young man named Min approached them after a session. "I've been coming to these meetings for a while, and they've really helped me," he admitted. "I want to give back and help others too. Is there a way I can get involved?" Touched by his desire to contribute, Han and Lin welcomed him into the fold. They encouraged him to lead a session focused on coping mechanisms, drawing from his own experiences. Min thrived in the role, and soon he became a key facilitator for the group. As the mental health initiative flourished, Han and Lin recognized another pressing need: job training and employment support. Many community members were struggling to find stable employment, and they wanted to help bridge that gap. They began collaborating with local businesses and vocational training centers to develop a job training program. The initiative aimed to equip individuals with the skills needed for in-demand jobs while also providing connections to potential employers. Han and Lin organized workshops covering resume writing, interview techniques, and professional development. The job training program launched to great enthusiasm. Participants were eager to gain new skills, and local businesses expressed interest in hiring community members who had completed the training. Han and Lin felt a sense of pride as they watched individuals gain confidence and prepare for new opportunities. One afternoon, as they were wrapping up a workshop, a woman named Hoa approached them. I just wanted to say thank you for everything you're doing. I've been unemployed for months, and this program has given me hope," she said, her eyes shining with gratitude. "That's what it's all about," Lynn replied. "We're here to support you and help you find the path that's right for you." Months passed, and the community center buzzed with activity. Han and Lynn were overjoyed to see so many lives being transformed through their efforts. However, they also understood that they needed to sustain their initiatives financially. Determined to secure funding, they organized a fundraising gala, inviting local businesses, community leaders, and residents to attend. They spent weeks planning the event, gathering donations, and preparing presentations to showcase the impact of their work. On the night of the gala, the atmosphere was electric. Han and Lynn stood at the entrance, greeting guests as they arrived. The room was beautifully decorated, filled with laughter and conversations about the future of their community. As the night unfolded, they shared stories of the individuals who had benefited from their programs, highlighting the real impact of community support. They encouraged attendees to donate generously, emphasizing that every contribution would help sustain their initiatives. The gala was a resounding success, raising more funds than they had anticipated. Han and Lynn were overwhelmed with gratitude as they thanked everyone for their support. After the event, they met to discuss their plans moving forward. "We have the resources to expand our programs," Han said, her eyes sparkling with excitement. "We could add after-school tutoring for kids, expand mental health services, and even provide scholarships for vocational training." Lynn nodded enthusiastically. "And we should also consider collaborating with schools to create mentorship programs. Connecting our youth with mentors can empower them and help them envision a brighter future." With renewed energy, they set to work on their expansion plans, reaching out to local schools and organizations for partnerships. As they implemented new programs, they continued to build relationships within the community, fostering a spirit of collaboration. As the years went by, the community center became a beacon of hope, a place where individuals could find support, resources, and a sense of belonging. Han and Lynn had created something truly special, a legacy built on compassion and resilience. One sunny afternoon, as they sat in the garden reflecting on their journey, Lynn turned to Han with a smile. "Can you believe how far we've come? It all started with small acts of kindness, and now we've built an entire community of support." Han nodded, her heart full. "It's incredible. And the best part is, we're just getting started. There's so much more we can do together." As they sat in the warmth of the sun, surrounded by laughter and the bustling life of the community, they knew that their journey was far from over. They were committed to nurturing this spirit of kindness, one day at a time, knowing that together they could create lasting change for generations to come. As the community center continued to thrive, Han and Lynn decided to host an annual Community Impact Day. The event would celebrate the successes of their initiatives, honor community members who had made a difference, and foster a sense of unity among residents. In the months leading up to the event, excitement buzzed throughout the community. Han and Lynn collaborated with local artists, musicians, and food vendors to create a vibrant atmosphere filled with performances, workshops, and fun activities for families. They also invited previous scholarship recipients and successful participants from their job training programs to share their stories. As the day approached, Han and Lynn poured their hearts into the planning, hoping to make it a memorable experience for everyone. On the morning of the event, the sun shone brightly, and the community center was transformed into a lively festival. Colorful banners fluttered in the breeze, and laughter filled the air. Han and Lynn set up booths showcasing the various programs offered at the center. They had information on mental health resources, job training opportunities, and the community garden. People mingled, shared stories, and enjoyed the day's festivities. As the afternoon progressed, the crowd gathered for a panel discussion featuring community members who had benefited from their initiatives. Han felt a surge of pride as she listened to their stories of resilience and hope. Each speaker highlighted the impact that the community center had on their lives, emphasizing how support had enabled them to overcome obstacles. One young woman, who had once struggled with mental health challenges, spoke passionately about how the support group had helped her find her voice. I came to the center feeling lost and alone, but I found a community that truly cares. I've learned to embrace my story and use it to inspire others," she said, her voice steady and full of conviction. As she finished, the audience erupted in applause, and Han and Lin exchanged glances, feeling a deep sense of fulfillment. It was moments like these that made all their efforts worthwhile. Later in the day, they presented awards to several community members who had gone above and beyond to support others. When Min, the young man who had become a facilitator in the mental health support group, received his award, he stepped forward to speak. "I want to thank Han and Lin for believing in me. This community has given me a purpose, and I'm honored to give back." Tears of joy filled Hana's eyes as she watched him speak. "We're proud of you, Min. You're making a difference, and it inspires all of us." As the sun began to set, casting a golden hue over the event, Han and Lin gathered with the attendees for the closing ceremony. They expressed their gratitude for the community's support and shared their vision for the future. "This is just the beginning," Han said, her voice filled with passion. "Together, we can continue to empower each other, uplift our community, and create a brighter future for everyone." The crowd cheered, and Lin added, "Let's continue to foster this spirit of kindness and collaboration. Every small action can lead to significant change." As the festivities wound down, Han and Lin stood together, taking in the joy around them. The sense of community was palpable, and they felt hopeful about the future. Months later, as the seasons changed again, Han and Lin reflected on the success of Community Impact Day. The positive energy from the event lingered, inspiring them to think of new initiatives. They began brainstorming ways to address food insecurity in the community. "We could partner with local farmers and food banks to provide fresh produce to families in need," Lin suggested one day as they sat in their office. "We can host weekly distributions at the center." Han nodded enthusiastically. "That's a great idea. We can also include cooking demonstrations to show families how to prepare nutritious meals with the food they receive." Excited by the potential impact, they quickly reached out to local farms and food banks, forming partnerships that would allow them to provide fresh, healthy food to community members. The initiative took shape quickly, and soon they had established a regular distribution program. On the first distribution day, the line of families stretched around the block. Han and Lin greeted each person with smiles, feeling a sense of purpose as they handed out bags filled with fresh produce. As the program continued, they noticed an increase in community engagement. Families began to share recipes, cooking tips, and even gardening advice with one another. The sense of camaraderie grew stronger, and the community garden flourished with shared knowledge and resources. One day, a woman named Na approached Han and Lin at the distribution. "I want to start a community cookbook project," she said. "We can gather recipes from everyone and create something special to celebrate our culture and our journey." Han and Lin loved the idea. They helped Na organize a series of cooking classes where community members could come together, learn new recipes, and contribute to the cookbook. The classes were filled with laughter, stories, and delicious food, and before long, they had enough recipes to create a beautiful community cookbook. When the cookbook was published, it became a beloved symbol of the community's spirit and resilience. Proceeds from the sales went back into the community center, funding new initiatives and helping even more families. As Han and Lin watched the impact of their efforts ripple through the community, they felt immense gratitude for the journey they had taken together. They knew that each act of kindness, no matter how small, had the power to create lasting change. One evening, as they wrapped up another successful day at the center, Han turned to Lin and said, "I can't believe how far we've come. It all started with a simple idea to help each other, and now we've built something extraordinary." Lin smiled, her heart swelling with pride. "It's just the beginning. We have so much more to do, and I can't wait to see what the future holds." And so, with their hearts full of hope and determination, Han and Lin continued their journey, committed to nurturing the spirit of kindness that had transformed their community, one small act at a time. As the community continued to grow and thrive, Han and Lin recognized the importance of sustainability in their initiatives. They wanted to ensure that their programs could withstand challenges and adapt to the ever-changing needs of the community. One afternoon, while brainstorming in their office, Han said, "We should consider establishing a leadership program for community members. If we empower people with skills to take charge of their own initiatives, it will create a ripple effect of change." Lin's eyes lit up at the idea. "That's brilliant. We can train individuals to lead workshops, manage projects, and even mentor others. It would not only build confidence but also cultivate a sense of ownership in the community." Excited about the possibilities, they began to develop a comprehensive leadership training program. They reached out to local business leaders, educators, and non-profit organizations to collaborate on the curriculum. The program aimed to equip participants with skills in public speaking, project management, fundraising, and community organizing. When they launched the first cohort, the response was overwhelmingly positive. Community members from various backgrounds signed up, eager to learn and take on leadership roles. Han and Lin facilitated the sessions, encouraging open discussions and collaborative learning. As the program progressed, participants began to step up and propose their own initiatives. One participant, a young woman named Tao, suggested organizing a cleanup day for the local park, which had become overrun with litter. Inspired by her enthusiasm, Han and Lin supported her in planning the event. On the day of the cleanup, Tao rallied a group of community members, and together they transformed the park. Laughter and camaraderie filled the air as they worked side by side, planting flowers, picking up trash, and revitalizing the green space. Han and Lin watched with pride, knowing that they had empowered Tao to take initiative. The cleanup day became an annual event, with community members eagerly participating each year. It was a tangible reminder of the positive change that could come from collective action. As the leadership program continued to flourish, Han and Lin noticed a shift in the community's dynamics. More residents were taking ownership of their surroundings, organizing events, and collaborating on projects. The sense of unity deepened, and the community began to feel like a family. One evening, after a successful workshop, Han and Lin gathered with participants for a celebratory dinner. The atmosphere was filled with joy and laughter as everyone shared stories of their experiences in the program. Tao stood up to speak, her voice steady with emotion. "I never imagined I could lead a project like the park cleanup. It showed me that I have the power to make a difference, and I'm so grateful for the support from Han and Lin." As the crowd applauded, Han felt tears of joy welling up in her eyes. She turned to Lin and whispered, "This is what we envisioned, a community that supports and uplifts one another." Months turned into years, and the community center became a beacon of hope, a place where dreams were nurtured and individuals flourished. Han and Lin remained committed to their mission, but they also recognized the importance of self-care and balance. One day, Lin suggested, "Let's plan a retreat for ourselves and the team. We've been working hard, and it's essential to take a step back and recharge." Han agreed wholeheartedly. They organized a weekend retreat at a nearby nature reserve, inviting their core team and some key volunteers. The retreat was filled with team-building activities, reflection, and relaxation, allowing everyone to reconnect with their passion and purpose. During a campfire discussion, Han shared, "We've accomplished so much together, but it's vital to remember why we started this journey. Let's continue to dream big, but also take care of ourselves and each other." The group nodded in agreement, and Lin added, "Together, we've created something beautiful. Let's carry this spirit of collaboration back to the community and keep pushing for positive change." As they returned from the retreat, Han and Lin felt rejuvenated and inspired. They knew that challenges would arise, but with their dedicated team and the support of the community, they could navigate any obstacle. One day, while planning for the next round of leadership training, Han received an unexpected phone call. It was a local news station interested in featuring their community center and the impact of their initiatives. Thrilled by the opportunity, Han and Lin prepared for the interview, eager to share their story with a broader audience. When the day arrived, they welcomed the crew into the center, showcasing the various programs and the vibrant community spirit. The interview highlighted not only their achievements but also the stories of individuals whose lives had been transformed. As the segment aired, the community center received an outpouring of support, with new volunteers and donations flowing in. Encouraged by the increased interest, Han and Lin decided to expand their outreach efforts, providing resources to neighboring communities facing similar challenges. They began hosting workshops and webinars, sharing their knowledge and strategies for building supportive networks. As they reached out to more communities, they realized that the desire for change and support was universal. Each collaboration brought new insights and experiences, enriching their understanding of community needs. Years later, as they sat together reflecting on their journey, Han said, "Can you believe how much we've grown? It started with a few small initiatives, and now we're making an impact beyond our wildest dreams." Lin smiled, her heart full of gratitude. It's a testament to the power of community and kindness. We've shown that together, we can overcome anything. And so, with renewed determination, Han and Lin continued to champion the spirit of kindness and support, knowing that their journey was far from over. They were committed to making a difference, one heart, one story, and one community at a time. As Han and Lin stood at the center of their vibrant community, they could hardly believe how far they had come. The once humble initiatives had blossomed into a thriving network of support, empowerment, and unity. The community center had become a second home for many, a place where people came together to learn, grow, and uplift one another. On a sunny afternoon, as they prepared for the annual celebration of their achievements, they reflected on the countless lives they had touched. From the children who learned the value of kindness to the adults who discovered their leadership potential, each story was a testament to the power of compassion. As the event unfolded, laughter and joy filled the air. People shared their successes, celebrating not just individual milestones but the collective strength of the community. Han and Lin took a moment to step back and watch, their hearts swelling with pride. They realized that their vision of fostering kindness and connection had become a beautiful reality. At the end of the celebration, Han took the stage, her voice filled with emotion. "This journey has shown us that change starts with a single act of kindness. Together, we've created a tapestry of support that binds us all. Let's continue to lift each other up and dream even bigger." The crowd erupted in applause, a chorus of gratitude and determination echoing throughout the center. Lin added, "Let's remember that every small action can lead to significant change. We are stronger together, and the possibilities are endless." As the sun set, casting a warm glow over the community, Han and Lin embraced, knowing that their work was far from over. They had ignited a spark of hope and kindness that would continue to illuminate their community for generations to come. With hearts full of gratitude and a shared commitment to their mission, they looked forward to the future, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead, hand in hand with their beloved community. Together, they would write the next chapter of their story, one filled with love, resilience, and unwavering support.